something that could be annoying. Yeah, I want to build actually I want to build two modulators. It'll be the WA1HLR reference grade modulator. One of them will be used on the Viking 1.5, and the other one will be lower in power, and that'll be power supply and modulator for a Viking, Junkston Viking 6E2. Which will obviously be used on 6 and 2 meters. I've got Apache plate transformer, low voltage, and filter reactor that will be used, and I picked up, a friend of mine gave me a very interesting transformer. This old Buzzard Kenyon thing that looked like a plate transformer, until I looked at it very closely and noticed, you know, a G, an F, and another G, and a P, and a B, and a P. I said, shit, this thing's a driver transformer. So I ohmed it out. And then I put voltage, 120 volts AC on the primary, being the P's, and the B's jumpered together with a clip lead, and it was a voltage step up. And it looked to me like it may have come out of some very large high power transmitter, where there had to be quite a lot of grid voltage linkage swing to whatever modulator tools were being used. And the driver may have been 4 tubes of some sort, push-pull parallel, in order to get the power. So I tried an experiment, bring the thing around so that the secondary winding became the primary. And it looked like it had almost, you know, it's a mud transformer, a 3-to-1 step-down ratio. So it'd be good for about 100%. I swept it with the audio oscillator into a, you know, like a 3,300 ohm load impedance, which would be typical of like a DX100 or Apache or something like that. And the high end started rolling off above 7 or 8 kilohertz. But the thing appeared to have plenty of acceptance. I knew the low end was going to be good. So I did one more experiment, being that the windings were split. You had either series or parallel them, so I took the secondary and paralleled the windings and tied them in series with one side of the primary, basically turbo connecting or auto transformer connecting it. And I put the load resistor from the center tap of what I designated as the primary to the other end of the windings, and hung the Simpleton 260 across it with a load resistor, and I swept it. First of all, I did a ratio check, and it's about a 1.5 to 1 step down. So it's got a very nice ratio, which will allow me to dump plenty of audio on the carrier, which is very important, especially for doing work. And I swept the thing, and it kept going and going and going. That thing was flat to 50 kilohertz that way. Yeah, I had to rub my eyes and check again. It's like, wow. So I'm very curious to see what that piece of iron is going to do. So I gathered up all these pieces, parts, and managed to do a layout on a chassis that I have with a panel attached to it. And I got to bake the iron, the Apache iron, put it on the stove and heat it up and drive any residual moisture out and climatolize or seal up when I'm going to use as Heising reactors. I had 4 more of the 13 Henry 250 mil reactors that I had a bunch of. That 3 of them are in Tom ZGC's junkyard Dowg as a Heising reactor, and 1 of them is in the B&W 5100 that I had almost finished, but it's not done. So I'm going to use them as Heising to all 3 in series to make close to 40 Henrys of inductance for the Heising reactor. So that's going to be an interesting project. Yes, indeed. So I lay everything out on the chassis, and I did the same thing with the reference modulator that's going to be used with the Viking 1.5, which will be a pair of 811s. 1250 on the plate. I have a UTC linear standard modulation transformer and all kinds of components. And I think I may, I asked Mark and I said okay. I'll bring the thick steel chassis plate down to be cut and milled and machined. But everything is going to be direct coupled cathode follower drive in both instances. The thing I wonder about is drift. How stable is it going to be? You know, it's just like making use of 1% tolerance resistors and stable power supply voltages and all that kind of thing. And I think it would remain pretty steady. But that's the thing, you know, as tubes age, component values change, and things can go into another world. Well, I don't know how much longer I'm going to stick in here, because I might think I'm going to chill out and go to bed early. So, anyway, that's it from here. Yeah, well, I feel like I need to relax.